Okay, so we're going to be finding some inverses and using exact values. And so that means special angles and quadrantal angles. Quadrantal angles. Okay, so evaluate each of the following. Now, I always want to stop and think, okay, I'm doing inverse sine. So the output is 1/2. So sometimes I'll even think in my mind, sine of x equals 1/2. What does that have to be? Okay, now remember the restriction is from negative pi over 2 to pi over 2. Okay, so it's got to be an angle either in the first or the fourth quadrant. Now we'll work on that. Okay, so it's positive, it's in the first quadrant, and so that's going to be 30 degrees or pi over 6. We're going to go with the radian measure, pi over 6. That's going to be the answer then, right? So your output is going to be an angle because you're doing inverse sine. Okay, well, let's look at the next one. So we have negative square root 2 over 2. Well, you might be thinking, oh, okay, pi over 4, that's when the sign is the square root of 2 over 2, but you've got to be in the fourth quadrant. Now, I'll put what the answer is. The answer is going to be negative pi over 4. So I'm just going to put that. Now let's look at a picture here. So you're thinking, okay, here's a 45-degree angle, or pi over 4, and that sine of pi over 4 is the square root of 2 over 2. Okay, and that's all well and good. But we have to have the one in this quadrant. So you might have been wanting to go this way around, and maybe you wanted to put 7 pi over 4, but you don't get to. And here's why. It's because of the restriction. It has to be between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2. It has to be from here up to here. Okay? And in that case, we need to go this way, and that's going to be a negative measurement. So it's got to be negative pi over 4. Even though this angle, 7 pi over 4, has the same, they're coterminal, right? These two are coterminal. The 7 pi over 4 is not between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2, so you can't use that one. So you have to use the negative pi over 4. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so we'll keep trying. We'll do a few of these. Okay, so now cosine, it's negative, and we want it to be the square root of 3 over 2. Okay, so think for a minute, cosine, square root of 3 over 2, that's going to be pi over 6, right? In the first quadrant, pi over 6, that has a cosine that's the square root of 3 over 2. But we have to be over here. We have to be in the second quadrant. And so it's got to be negative. That's why we're in the second quadrant. And it's going to be this angle right there, which is going to be 5 pi over 6. So that's going to be the answer there. Okay? Remember, for cosine, you've got to be between 0 and pi. Okay? That's for cosine. All right, tangent. When is the tangent 1? Well, it's at pi over 4. Now, it's a positive 1, so it's going to be in the first quadrant. So it's going to be pi over 4. Okay, that was those.